What's up, Orochi? Hope you're doing amazing. So let's lock it in, everybody. Let's lock it in. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna start reading all this jibber jabberish. I love all you guys so much, man. Gearbox has been cooking so much. If you guys haven't seen the video of Gearbox PAX West or my other Vex skill tree building, check that one out. I'm gonna cook it up with the Amon right now. Alright, everybody. We got Onslaughter for Amon. Amon overloads his Forged Fist, gaining constant shield regeneration, bonus incendiary damage with guns, and increased movement speed. Press action skill or melee to rocket punch, dashing to target enemy, dealing incendiary melee attack damage at a short range cone and causing stagger. I like that. Staggerization. Bosses cannot be staggered and badasses have a chance to be staggered. Alright. I might not use a rocket fist, but I mean, you know, it's for funsies, you know? Oh, let me move this, guys. Sorry! I'm gonna buy Super Deluxe on Wednesday. Oh my god, I like that, you guys. Guys, do it. Please pre-order a Super Deluxe edition and tell Gearbox to sponsor the Oxy. Alright. Let's do this. Watch out of water because I know I'm gonna be reading a lot, but that's okay, you guys. You know what? There's water right here. Let me go get it. Alright. So let's check it. Impetus. Kill skill. Amon gains increased shield regeneration rate and movement speed for a duration. This effect can stack. Maximum number of layers 3. It can stack up to 3. Cool. When I buy games, I choose to buy the best. No, saying. Well, I can't say when I buy games. This just depends if I really love the franchise. Everything. If it's the first time playing, then I'll buy the normal pack, and then you'll get DLC, everything. You know what I mean? But I see what you mean. Okay. Amon gains increased incendiary damage. What burns within? I like that. That's passive. That's always active. Discombobulate. Amon gains melee critical strike chance. That's really good. Heavy plate. Amon gains increased melee damage and skill damage. I like that. Tritanium knuckles. Passive. Increase Amon's melee damage and skill damage. Rocket punch now has 2 modes. It gains increased radius and deals bonus damage based on Amon's maximum shield capacity. Pressing action skill causes rocket punch to deal incendiary melee attack damage. Pressing melee causes rocket punch to deal cryo melee attack damage. Ah. Cryo class. Whenever Onslaughter is activated, Amon fully restores his health and shield and is surrounded by a Forged Storm that deals incendiary status effect damage to nearby enemies over time. Kill skill. Hitting an enemy inside a Forged Storm restores Amon's action skill duration and increases Forged Storm damage. Master and Storm passive increases Amon's status effect damage and duration. Status effect damage plus 5%. Status effect duration plus 5%. Forged in Steel. Amon becomes immune to all damage for a brief duration whenever he activates a Forged skill. Oh shit. Bullet Storm. Whenever Amon applies a status effect, he gains increased gun damage for a duration. Nice. Oh shit. Whenever Amon deals gun damage, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate for a duration. Okay, Amon's is a beast. The best defense. Amon gains super shield when dealing melee damage. Okay, nice. I like that. Berserk passive. When Amon activates his Force Scope, he becomes Berserk for a duration, gaining slow immunity and bonus cryo damage with gun damage and melee damage. Gaining slow immunity? What does that mean, slow immunity? Immune to slowness. Pressing action skill immediately after... Oh, this one's Fell Frost. Pressing action skill immediately after a rocket punch causes Amon to use a follow-up attack, dealing cryo melee attack damage in a large area in front of Amon. Non-boss enemies hit below 25% total HP are killed. Bloodlust. Whenever Amon's shield breaks, he gains Bloodlust for a duration, gaining increased reload speed and lifesteal. Bloodlust is also activated on action skill activation. Bloodlust will also be automatically activated when the active skill is activated. Oh, so when the shield breaks, he gains bloodlust, gaining increased reload speed and nice, and then all that. Oh, okay, it multiplies. Failed Frost. Pressing action skill immediately after rocket punch causes a monster to use follow-up attack, dealing cryo melee attack damage in a large area in front of Amon. There is only red passive kill skill. Whenever Amon kills an enemy while a berserk is active, partially restores berserk duration, increases bonus cryo damage from berserk passive, requires a point in berserk. Rhyme break. When Amon's shield is broken, it partially restores his shield and detonates, dealing cryo damage to all nearby enemies and freezing them. Rhyming vigor. Amon gains increased maximum health capacity and deals increased melee damage and more full his health. My touch is death. Whenever Amon deals melee damage, there is a chance to activate kill skills. Oh. Horror cleave? Horror cleave? Molten Slam is now Horror Cleave. Pressing and hold action skill to swing a massive forge axe, launching a forge wave that deals cryo melee damage and freezes enemies it passes through. Enemies killed by Horror Cleave causes a detonation, dealing cryo damage. That's amazing, man. Look at that, you guys. Pretty good stuff. Not really that fun on this side of the tree. Let's go check out the other one. But maybe the mix and match, and we'll see. We'll see. Still really good stuff, though. I'm doing Harlow. I think Harlow is amazing also. I promise you, Harlow is amazing. I am going to do a Harlow skill tree build next, guys. Harlow's next. So don't worry. Alright. Into the frame. Let's get some water. I like this one already. Amon gain increased gun damage, dealt, and damage reduction based on his distance from the enemy. The closer the enemy, the greater the bonus. Damage caused 5% when close, damage reduction 40% at close range. See, that's really fucking good. That's really good. While Onslaught is active, gun damage dealt to enemies will prime them for a duration, will detonate when they die or damaged by forge skill, dealing incendiary damage to nearby enemies. Detonates can also be caused by melee attack damage and but deal less damage. Oh, so this is kind of like the one for Creep Blood Explosion in a little bit. Burning Ramparts. Amon gains increased fire rate and scientific chance, the more full his shields. Maiming Strike. Gun critical hits have a chance to apply weakness to enemies for a duration. Weakened enemies deal to reduce damage and take increased damage. Weakness is affected by status effect duration and itself is considered a status effect. Oh, I like that. So instead of slag, there's weakness, but weakness isn't a necessity. It's just a bonus, which is really nice. Thank God. Rearm. Whenever Amon deals damage with the melee attack, his current gun has its ammo partially refilled. I said partially refilled. Molten Royal. Molten Slam gains increased radius and stores damage. Pyres erupt under up to 3 enemies after delay. Pyres deals additional incendiary melee damage based on damage stored by Molten Slam distributed among the remaining targets. Wow. That's pretty good. Harbinger. Kill skill. Amon gains increased melee damage with maximum shield capacity for a duration. Okay, I like that. Mortal Flare. Whenever Amon kills a weakened enemy, they detonate, dealing incendiary melee damage to nearby enemies. So whenever Amon kills a weakened enemy, they detonate, dealing incendiary melee damage. That's actually badass. That's actually badass. Damage stored, 40% of damage dealt. That's actually amazing. Catastrophe. Whenever Amon applies shock to the enemy, he gains increased critical chance for a duration. Oh my god, that's good. Organ Spread. Whenever Amon activates Ordnance, his next gunshot is covered to fire incendiary damage, staggering enemies and gaining increased damage dealt. That's really nice. Fulminating Fist. Augment. Amon gains increased status effect chance while Onslaught is active. Pressing action skill launches a concentrated lightning wave that deals shock, melee attack damage to enemies it passes through. Judgment. Amon deals increased melee damage to enemies below 50% total HP, melee damage 7%. Fist of Stone. Whenever Amon deals melee damage restored to a percentage of forge skill cooldown, melee attacks double this effect. Melee attacks will double this effect. Forge skills cooldown recovery 2%. Crackling Aegis. Amon gains increased scientific damage and ordnance damage based on his shield. The fuller shield, the greater the status effect. That's pretty good, but you can't, again, those require never getting hit, but when it comes to that, it's going to be rare, but even, you know, it'll be smart. Press hold, action go to sweep. Imagine force sword launching a force way to do most shock damage to all enemies passing it through. Restores action skill cooldown, action skill duration, and ordnance cooldown for each enemy hit. That's actually really good. I like that. Electrical flare. Whenever Amon burns an enemy, he also shocks them. Whenever Amon shocks them, he also burns them. Wow. Okay, this is a must. Okay. Let's build the tree right now, guys. Amon gains increased shield regeneration rate and movement speed for duration. Amon gains increased incendiary damage. Yes. Then we're gonna go. Amon gains increased melee damage and skill damage. We'll read that. Amon's melee damage and skill damage goes up. Gut punch. Melee damage and ordnance damage has a chance to apply weakness to enemies for a duration. Master the storm status effect increases Amon's status effect damage and duration. Yes. You're gonna want that. We'll put this one on for now as we're here, but this isn't gonna be what we're gonna use. Amon becomes immune to all damage for brief duration when you activate the force skill. Yes, have to activate that one. The best defense. Amon gets a super shield when dealing melee damage. Whenever Amon deals gun damage, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate for a duration. That's really good. Whenever Amon applies side effect, he gains increased gun damage for duration. So definitely get this one. And we're definitely gonna get this one. You know what? We'll get the weakness one too, because honestly, weakness is super important. And then we definitely want to go straight to catastrophe. Whenever Amon applies shock to enemy, gains increased critical hit chance. Boom, boom, boom. Whenever Amon activates ordnance, the next gun converts to fire to damage side of the enemy and again increased damage. Though I like that. And then we want to get electrical flare. That's for sure. After we get electrical flare, we definitely want to get storm cutter. I like this. Increase everything, we get everything back, more damage. Look at that. And we still got more points. So with that, we're gonna go into Amon gain increased damage dealt and damage reduction based on his distance from the enemy for show. Then gun critical chance to apply weakness enemy for duration for show. Amon gains increased melee damage and maximum shield capacity. Whenever Amon deals damage to melee attack, his current gun has ammo partially refilled. That's actually really nice. But I kind of want this one more. Harbinger. Multiple size rated damage price up under. Mortal flare. Whenever Amon kills a weakened enemy, they detonate in. Oh, see, that's nice. That boom. Put one right there. This is difficult actually building the trees. But the thing is, like, I don't really want to be spreading the things around. So this is the first one, Calamity. I like that. I like it. I like it. Oh, wait, let me change this one first to Pyroclast. We're not going to have Pyroclast. Ammo gains increased scientific chance while onslaught is active. While onslaught is active, gun damage outside with prime them for duration will detonate when they die or damage by force skill, dealing force damage to nearby enemies. Boom. I like that. There you go. We'll do cybernetics. Oh. Let's put this one on. You know, there's gonna be a lot of good stuff when it comes to how many things are gonna be in Borderlands 4, how many things are gonna be when it comes out, vice versa, etc., you know? A lot of good stuff, you guys. A lot of good stuff. Give me 1 second. I forgot to tweet it out. I'm just posting that I'm live. All right, there you go. I posted it. Not that it's gonna make a difference. So cybernetics. Charge skill. Amon readies 4 axes that can be thrown and picked up off the ground to refund cooldown. Can throw a flame axe dealing incendiary melee damage or frost axe dealing. Oh, this is okay. Okay, this one might be the one we're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, this one might be the one you're looking for. You know what I mean? Like, this one might be the one you're looking for. You know what I mean? Pocket that back and you know what I put every inside of my shoe. I cannot tell you what can I go one down to. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's do this, you guys. Cybernetics. Cast iron. Amon gains increased forge skill, cooldown rate, and gun handling. Alright, alright. Gathering storm. Kill skill. Amon deals increased elemental damage for a duration. Oh, it's a kill skill. Can you only have one augment and capstone each? Oh, augment and capstone. Yeah, so you can only have one augment and capstone at the same time. But let's say you're here. But let's say you want to use these augments. You're gonna end up switching to calamity. It's gonna switch to calamity. You know, you can't really like have the other ones on. Kind of like how you couldn't be BO3. I don't think. So you can only have one augment on and one capstone. But the good thing is with the capstones, like again, like let's say you go down this tree and this tree, you go down enough for this one and this one, then you could activate this one and activate this one or whatever, you know. Ammo gains increased critical hit damage. This effect is over for duration after dealing melee damage. What the fuck? Ammo gains increased reload speed. Interesting. Amon gains increased critical hit damage. Oh, critical hit damage. Oh, that's good. I like that. And Gathering Storm. Endless War. Primed enemies take increased gun damage for each stack of prime. If Amon detonates prime enemy, new forge axe spawn and seeks out a nearby enemy. Oh, that's badass. This augment, I like this one. Axe and Stone for another augment. Amon gains increased movement speed for a duration after damaging an enemy with forge axe and can detonate primed enemies with a melee attack. Detonating a flamed axe restores action skill cooldown. Detonating a cryo axe restores ordnance cooldown. Oh, okay. So for these, destruction engine. Ammo gains increased forge skill damage and detonates enemies. Forge Stone skill. Whenever Amon activates his Forge skill, he spawns an axe Forge Stone that attacks nearby enemies for a duration, dealing incinerate. What? Oh, I like this one. Bolt axe. Whenever Amon reloads his guns, gains shock damage for duration. Amon gains increased shock damage. Amon gains critical hit chance with guns for a duration. Oh yeah, I like that. So in tempered by Pyre now spawns an additional axe Forge Stone that deals cryo melee damage. See, look at that. Whenever Amon activates his Forge skill, he gains increased gun damage for a duration. That's good. You know what? We'll go this side. Boom. And now we could go down. This is nice. Like Hour of Hammer. Enemies damaged by Forge Hammer are primed for a duration and will detonate when they die or are damaged by Forge skill, dealing damage to nearby enemies. So when he activates Forge Hammer, he's choosing Frost or Shock. Enemies damaged by Forge Hammer are primed for a duration and will detonate. So that means they're gonna detonate when they die or damage, and then they're gonna detonate each other. Can't throw Cryo Hammer, dealing cryo melee damage in the area. Oh, that's fucking amazing. Cacophony. Amon deals increased ordnance damage at detonation radius. Temporized Forge skill. Whenever Amon activates his ordnance, he spawns a hammer Forge Stone that attacks nearby enemy for duration, dealing cryo melee damage. Alright. Raging Inferno. Action skill damage has a chance to critically hit and burn enemies when it does. Action skill damage is chance to critically hit and burn enemy when it does. That's good, actually. I like that. Searing cold. Frost axes apply freezing cold on impact. Also, they just freeze like that instantly. I like that. Permafrost. Whenever a mon freezes an enemy, cryo hazard is created under them, dealing cryo damage for a duration. Wow, that's actually really nice. Tempered lightning. Forge zone skill. Whenever a mon activates his action skill, he spawns a sword forger that attacks nearby enemies for a duration, dealing shock melee damage. Blast furnace. Whenever a mon his forge skill to hit an enemy, he causes a detonation to gauge increased damage done for a duration. Detonate grants multiple stacks. Oh, I like that. Boom. Immediately. Amon sounds so good. He's sounding amazing, man. Armor content. Amon gains overshield when he deals action skill damage. Amon's gunshots have a chance on critical hit to spawn an elemental bolt, dealing shock damage. What? Escalation. Forge zone gains increased attack speed and movement speed. Hoeing point. Forge zones have a chance to critically hit. Whenever Forge zone critically hits, they partially restore Amon's action skill cooldown. Oh my god. Double Edge is now Storm Surge. Press and hold action skill to throw a twinned Forge Blade, dealing shock melee damage in area on impact. Storm Surge creates a Forge Storm on impact for duration, dealing shock status effect damage over time. Reverse Explosion. Whenever Amon deals Forge skill damage, he creates a drone singularity for a duration. Wild Heart. Amon gains increased status effect damage and hazard damage. Oh my god, Freezer Bird. Oh my, dealing fire damage with guns increases crowd damage. Oh my god. Dealing crowd damage with guns increases city damage. The hell is happening? Reactive armor. Detonation partially restores a bunch. Dude, this is insane. This one for sure. We're gonna go Wild Heart, and then Freezer Burn, and then this one, and then we have a few left. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 4 left. Huh, this is interesting. Amon's guns have a chance to on critical hits to spawn elemental bolts. Fuck, I have 4 points left. This one's tough. 4 points left. This is tough. Whenever I want to use order them, it gains increased fire rate. And its bombardment grenades have a chance to refund themselves on use. Masterwork. Shit, this is hard. Double Edge now deals incendiary. Okay, Flangerang. Double Edge now deals incendiary and melee damage in both directions, gains increased radius, and leaves a trail of fire as it travels if close enough to the ground, dealing incendiary damage over time. What? I like that. That's it. This is Borderlands 4 is amazing, bro. Are the 3 done, ladies and gentlemen? Alright, we're almost done. Then we're gonna get into Borderlands 2, everybody. You know what I mean? We're gonna finish that up. We're gonna lock it in. You know, we're gonna go crazy. Hope you guys are enjoying everything. Yeah, but Amon's deaf. Wow. Really sick ass, really amazing skill trees. I like how like become Thor. Honestly, like with Amon, it sounds like you could do endless things with his melee abilities. And he reminds me of like what I always wanted for Krieg. And it's crazy that I'm playing as Vex first, because again, I never play as the Siren. I never ever play as the Siren. I never go for the Sirens or anything ever, honestly. I feel like one tonight. Sorry, because I'm moving my OBS stuff around so I can actually see better. My other monitor's smaller. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that. Alright, lock it in. Wrath of Nature. Amon gains increased status effect application chance and cryo effectiveness. That's affected chance of cryo effectiveness? Scorched Kairos. Amon gains increased ordnance damage and magazine size. The throw Amon gains missing health regeneration. Every time Amon takes... You know what I noticed? He doesn't have health regeneration, this guy. Ah, interesting. Amon gains missing health regeneration. Every time Amon takes or absorbs non-status effect damage, he gains stack of resolute for a duration, which increases his effect. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Immediate, yes. Amon gains increased government and more full his health. Immediate, yes, even though it's gonna be rare. And Wrath of Nature for sure. Blast Shield. Forge Rate now consumes more vengeance and explodes an impact, dealing cryo ordnance damage in every explodes radius and the further increase the forge rate passes through a firewall. Oh, this is the one with the shield, with the firewall. I like this one actually. You know what? This one might actually be really. Amon gains increased action duration and gun swap speed. Amon gains increased maximum health capacity and rep crit healing. Whenever Amon uses a rep crit while action skill is active, partially restore action skill duration. Cryonic Dirum and those scar tissue and Warrior's Cup. Cryonic Dirum augment. While Scourge is active, Amon taunts enemies and sends a cryonic pulse every second, dealing cryo damage to enemies and restores allies' health. While aiming, Amon's movement speed is reduced, but Amon gains bonus cryo damage for guns and consumes vengeance on each gun shot. I don't like not being able to move. Whenever Amon deals ordnance damage, there is a chance to apply a cryo status effect that deals cryo damage over time for duration. Amon deals increased cryo damage. For Ancient Ways and the Tail of Comet. Mechanist. Passive. Skill score. Amon restores a percentage of ordnance cooldown. Bullet Hail. Passive. Amon gunshots have a chance to ricochet as an elemental shard, dealing crowd that. Oh, hell yeah. Say no more. Might as well get Ancient Ways. Thunderous Rage. Kill skill. Killing an enemy with shock will grant a stack of shock affinity for a duration. A shock affinity stacks grant increased critical hit damage. Stab it. I like that. I like that. So killing enemy with shock will grant shock affinity for duration. Affinity shock increased critical hit damage. So once it's found that affinity, that's when I gain the critical hit bonus. Ordnance damage has a chance to critically hit and shock enemies when they do. That's good. Stormlands. Press action skill to throw a Forge Spear, dealing shocked ordnance damage on impact, consuming vengeance to increase damage dealt. Enemies damaged by Forge Spear are primed for a duration and will detonate when they are damaged by Forge Spear, dealing shock damage to the target but none to nearby enemies. That's interesting. Amon's gun criticals have a chance to apply additional slow element and slow to enemies as if dealt cryo damage. Icy Rage. Kill skill. Killing an enemy with cryo damage grants a stack of cryo affinity for duration. Cryo affinity stacks grant increased gun damage. I like that. Okay, Icy Rage. Okay. Killing an enemy with incendiary damage will grants a flame affinity for duration. Flame affinity stacks increased reload speed and action skill cooldown rate. Amon gains increased ricochet damage, burning damage, and burning duration. Oh, hell yeah. See, really good stuff. Ballistic Bullet. Amon gains overshield when he deals ordnance damage. Whenever Amon applies burning to an enemy, he gains increased fire rate for a duration. Wild Worldbreaker. Whenever Amon ground stamps, he consumes all flame affinity stacks to create a flame fissure in front of him, dealing incendiary melee damage to all enemies hit. Kill skill. Partially restores Worldbreaker's cooldown. Ring of Frostfire. Firewall is now a ring that deals incendiary status effect damage. And now a ring, okay. Inside of it, and crowd damage to enemies who enter or leave. Firewall grants a friendly projectile the pass to further increase damage and projectile speed. Oh, that's so good actually. Age of Ice. Amon deals increased damage to frozen enemies and bosses. Primal Surge. Whenever Amon applies status effect to an enemy, there's a chance to partially restore his shield and ammo. Oh, okay, I like that. Winter's Kiss. Whenever Amon deals ordnance damage, he consumes a stack of cryo affinity. Each nearby enemy to spawn elemental shard, dealing cryo damage in an area. Elemental shard has a chance to ricochet. Oh, okay. Press and hold action skill to swing force whips, dealing cryo ordnance damage over 2 hits to nearby enemy before slamming into the ground, creating a cryonic fissure that deals cryo ordnance damage and leaves cryo hazards for a duration. Ah. Tactician. While hip firing, Amon gains increased fire rate but decreased gun handling. While aiming, Amon gains increased gun damage and gun handling. Smelter. Kill skill. Amon restores a percentage of forge skill cooldown. Strikes the anvil passive. Whenever Amon deals action skill damage, he consumes a stack of shock affinity to cause an elemental bolt to strike the enemy, dealing shock damage. High voltage. Elemental bolts now stagger enemies and consume an additional stack of shock affinity to multiply damage dealt. Wrathfall. Firewall is now Wrathfall. Press and hold action skill to call down massive force sword to strike targets on all enemy, dealing shock, ordnance damage, enemies, and arrow. Wrathfall always critically hits. That's amazing. But I would prefer this. We'll put Ring of Frostfire. And I don't know if maybe Force Wave now partially restores action skill duration. Forge Wall duration damage, and it can now activate 3 times in succession. The third activation launches a massive Forge Wave that deals increased damage and does not consume vengeance. Firewall is now Glacial Rapture. Press and hold action skill to swing Forge Whip, dealing crowd damage over 2 hits nearby enemy before damage to the ground. Oh no, not those. I'm looking for these. Stormlands. Press and action skill to Forge Spear, dealing a shock ordnance damage. Eternal Winter. Forge Wave now partially restores action skill. I think Molten Rebuke would be best for that one, yeah. Which is interesting. There you go, guys. We did it. I like that. I like that. Oh, there's an ad right now. That's what happened. Yay. So I really like what we're doing with this one, guys. Oh wait, I still have 3 more points that I could use. I didn't realize I still have 3 more points that I could use, so I could play with this one. World Breaker cooldown. What's World Breaker? Cooling Mantle. So now I have 2 more points that I could allocate. But where would I want to put the final 2? Oh my god, I can't wait when we're able to go up levels, bro. I hope they let us go up levels like later on with the DLCs, because I know they're gonna make it happen. You know, they're gonna be like, oh, here you can just level up with your weapons, they go with you. See, like that would incentivize people to be like, I would go for this one, but I won't reach it. You know what? This one. Yes. Yes. So this one's this tree, guys. This one is this tree for show. We'll call this one. We'll call this build the icy. Yeah, the icy. We'll call that one. We'll call this one icy. Icy City. Also, guys, if you guys haven't seen my recent video for Borderlands West packs for 2025, they showcase a bunch of stuff, pearlescence, endgame stuff. They were talking about a bunch of things, post-launch content, amazing stuff, you guys. So go ahead and check that stuff out, okay? Go check that stuff out. We're gonna play some Borderlands 2 right now. So if you guys want to drop a follow, please drop a follow. Your follow goes to Rescue Animals. I rescue animals with my wife. It goes to you guys, to the stream, to the city. It goes back to everybody in the community. And I just appreciate you guys for helping me, my passion, my dreams, and everything fucking come true. So let's do this. All right, let me timestamp.